Orson Bean's acting career spans more than 5 decades, from the golden age of television in the 50s to a 6-year run on Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman in the 90s, to frequent guest appearances on dramas like Cold Case and sitcoms like How I Met Your Mother today. In fact, he was on last night's episode playing the character Bob across the CBS network nationwide. He's penned inspirational moments from his own outrageous life experiences to write an odd sort of recovery memoir, Mail for Mikey, which recounts how the pursuit of sex, alcohol, and drugs brought him to find true happiness in the face of a very real God. And Orson, it's great to have you with us tonight, or today here. And watching last night, I was doing a little research and saw that your the Slapsgiving episode was on. And I said, come on, guys, who watched it, said, that's the guy that's going to be on the show tomorrow. And I thought to my wife, I said right after the show, I said, you know what? That guy's going to get a big fat royalty check tomorrow. Isn't life great, you know?
Not so fat. The things that I've done in the last few years, like 2.5 Men and The Closer and Cold Case, have been rerun a lot because of the writer's strike. They got kind of backed up. So I'm now down to $7.25 or something. And
on scale there, huh?
Financial advisors have informed me that if I earn any more in this fiscal quarter, I will no longer be eligible for food stamps. It's a pleasure to see you guys in person, Kelly and Stefan. And I've been watching you since I heard about the show. My wife, Allie Mills, she's an actress too, and she's a Christian. And so we just enjoy, getting to know you. Like, if you play your cards right, you can really draw Kelly out.
Yes.
Just, maybe.
Your life story, obviously, you've had a long tenure in the acting business in Broadway, Hollywood, and you've got a lot of stories to tell. Mail for Mike, we want to talk about that in just a minute. But historically, you were blacklisted in the 60s as being a communist because of your liberal political views. Today, you're a conservative Christian. Do you ever think you kind of got things mixed up?
A lot of people have started out on the far left and come to the right. And someone once said, let the Darwin people make what they will of that. Yeah. I think you're supposed to be a little lefty when you're in your 20s. And then if you're not conservative when you're older, there's something wrong with you then. I don't think I've changed. I think everything moved around me. All of the values that Dr. Martin Luther King espoused, I still agree with. And I think that the society has shifted to the point where I seem to be on the right, whereas I used to seem to be on the left.
Yeah. So you're saying you stayed consistent and constant, but the culture around us has kind of swung left and right.
You guys were talking about saying Merry Christmas. Out in L.A. where I live, it's really a political statement to say Merry Christmas. I do it anyway, but I see people's jaw drops. I say Merry Christmas, and they say, and they walk away. They say, what are you, some kind of a weirdo? Yeah. It's very horrible. Yeah. You don't hear at our church we sing the Christmas carols, because I sing every Sunday in our group. And I remembered as a kid hearing them in the department stores, a little town of Bethlehem, when you were shopping. And you don't hear, the most you can hear is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer out in public.
Do you find that because of your conservative views that it is very difficult being an actor and a producer in Hollywood?
I think you have to agree to be hated in order to be hated. I simply won't be. And I thought I was going to get in real trouble when I sent some money to support Prop 8 about the gay marriage thing. Now, being in show business, half of my friends are gay, and I love them. I've been to 2 gay, ceremonies in the past couple of years. But I don't think the definition of marriage should be changed. So I was outed by the L.A. Times as one of the recognizable names that sent money in to support Prop 8. And I got a lot of hate mail from it. On the other hand, I just got a job, and I'm shooting a Hallmark movie for TV right now, which I have a couple of days off to come here. So I think that if you don't worry about stuff, it doesn't tend to come your way.
In the preface to Mail for Mikey, which is really quite a cutting edge and very entertaining read for sure. You mentioned that doing some work recently, you were reading Mere Christianity on the set, between shots, and a lot of people kind of came up and expressed interest. Do you think we've heard for several years now from different guests that there's kind of this underground burgeoning quest in Hollywood to really find truth and to really find what's real, and people are kind of experiencing or exploring the truth claims of Christianity and what it's really all about, not the Ned Flanders style.
Yeah, I think it's true. I think we all have an emptiness in it that can only be filled by Jesus. And people walk around with it, and they try, as I did, to fill it with fame or money or drugs or public recognition or just having a good marriage and raising good kids or even being good members of a church. None of it works. It's only when you open your heart and invite Jesus into it that you realize that it really has relatively little to do with whether you're a good person or a bad person, but if you just open to Christ coming into you. And I decided to write a book from the point of view of a non-believer becoming a believer. So a little of the language is a little too raunchy for Christian bookstores, but I think that most non-believers perceive Christian literature as either goody-goody, like Ned Flanders, who is, in case people don't know, Homer Simpson's overly Christian neighbor, or preaching to the already converted. So I decided to write a book that's funny and raunchy and has the true story of how kicking and screaming, having done everything I could to avoid bringing Jesus into my life, I gave up and did it.
Well, what was your life like before meeting Jesus? And is this character based a little bit upon your life?
Yeah, it's mostly based on my life. My life has been good. I mean, I've had a couple of good marriages. My ex-wife even speaks to my present wife now. They've become fast friends. I see them laughing together, and I think to myself, what's their secret, a common enemy? But we'll all be together for Christmas with my 4 children and their husbands and wives and my 7 grandchildren, and we're not even Catholic. And the ex-wife will bring her hated Brussels sprouts, and we'll have a groaning board. So my life has been good, but I tried everything I could to be happy because it was very important to me to be happy, more so than I think it is to many people. So I tried drugs, and I tried booze, and I tried sex, and I tried being well known in the street, and it all worked for a while. And when it didn't, well, that's when Jesus snuck into me.
Yeah, and we say we find God, but in reality, He finds us. We're the ones that are lost. So where did He find you? Was it 4:30 in the morning coming out of a joint, or was it where was it?
I was in a 12-step program from drinking too much, and I lasted in it 7 years and found out that I guess I really wasn't an alcoholic. I was just drinking too much for a while, and then when that stopped. But in the course of it, there was a guy that was a speaker, and he was profound. He was a criminal who had done hard time in the pen. But I spoke to him after a meeting, and I said, what should I do? I was new in the 12-step program, and he said, get down on your knees every morning and thank God for the night's sleep, and do it again at night and thank Him for the day. I said, well, I don't think I believe in God. He said, it doesn't matter. I said, well, why do I have to get on my knees? He said, He likes it. So I started doing it, and since all else had failed, I decided I would follow the instructions, and I did it day after day, week after week, and it started feeling less uncomfortable. Then it started feeling wonderful, and little by little I began to feel as if I was really being heard by whatever it was that had created me. That's how I came to God. How I came to Jesus was later on, and it was a profound experience that really happened to me on the beach one day, where I said, there's got to be more, and I had heard about Christ all my life, and it just came to me, and I just started to cry with happiness, and He's been in there ever since.
Yeah. Now, the word happiness, we've brought it out a couple times here, and you believe that people have an obligation to be happy.
Yes.
Or at least to act happy.
Yes.
What's that all about?